Hey, I'm gonna take you with me as I maintain this guitar, restring it, remove some rust from the metal parts, clean the body, clean the fretboard, stuff like that. Let's dig into it. Alright, so I have already gotten so far that I have released the strings and I have applied some basic oil to those metal parts to get them out of any rust or anything like that. And I've already loosened the strings, and as you can see, the screws are covered with rust, and this is exactly why I want to oil them up and clean all the rust, make them look and feel good as new. And you can see that I have blocked the cavity over here with a wooden block so that I can take all of these strings away and the tremolo will still be in place because it has the springs on the back of the guitar. I won't dismantle this tremolo because I don't want to go through that now, but I will apply some oil to those rusty parts and maybe take these screws over here out and clean them on the spot, and then I will probably clean this neck and maybe apply some oil and then restring these strings. So to clean these, you can see, maybe you can see it, it's covered with rust. So I've applied some basic oil here on the rag and I'm just gonna do this for all these screws and let it soak a little bit and maybe do it again to get rid of the rust. For cleaning the fretboard, I'm gonna be using Zippo lighter fluid. Believe it or not, I wanna set this guitar on fire. Just kidding. And then it really works. It has worked for me for ages. And then I somewhat cleaned microfiber cloth. Alright, I'm done with the fretboard. Clean enough for me. And there was nothing special on how to clean it, just apply the substance you're using to clean it either to the rag or straight to the wood, and then like this, one by one, I clean it. Alright, so the oil has been soaking in to this tremolo, and now I'm just doing like a speed cleaning, so that's why I didn't take it fully apart and won't be using any brushes or anything because I don't want it to splash around, so I'll just rub it with this rag, try to take all the gunk out of it, and yeah, that's about it. I will, however, unscrew these intonation screws a little bit so the oil can get into the screw. And then at the end I will use a dry part of this rag and try to get all of the excess oil out of the tremolo. Then reassembling the screws. And at this point I will clean the whole body with the same technique as the fretboard, using the Zippo fluid and clean rag. There you go. I think it's all cleaned up now, and I've wiped all the metal parts from the excess oil. Alright, then I'm gonna restring this bad boy, and usually start from the thick strings. And for Floyd Rose Tremolo systems, I of course have to cut the ball end out of these strings in order to get them mounted here, like so. Just try to always, I try to look that the string is straight in the cavity, so there won't be no tuning issues. Okay, I have a bad screw here. I was securing the intonation screws and noticed that when tightened, this one screw, it has been worn out, so that it will it needs to get replaced. I found a spare screw from my old unused tremolo, and it was in perfect condition, so I just replaced it here, so I will have a secure hold on the intonation screw. And next I'm gonna secure the strings here on the headstock, and I've recently moved to electrical tools for restringing, because why not? I don't want to strain my hand, man. I'm doing this so often, so if it helps, why not? So the way I'm doing this is that I first set it up the hole like this, and then inject the string, then I pull from the nut to the first fret, then turn it into a 90-degree angle. Then it won't come off anymore. I can then snap this one out and then tighten it, and going on top and from below. There you go. And first, keeping them loose, until all of the strings are connected, and then tune it. Alright, there it is, all stringed up. Next up I will have to do tuning. Alright, so now removing the block. Removing the block and letting the tremolo hang free. Alright, then I like to level these fine tuners so that I have room to go up, sharp or flat. And then we are gonna tune. So here I have my tuner hooked up, and there we go. So with the tremolo system when tuning, as the bridge is floating, when you tune one string it will affect all the other strings, so that's why I have to do this a couple of times. Alright. There we go. So when I have a fresh set of strings set up like I do now, there is this one thing I need to do. You can see this is tuned, but I have to stretch the strings out, because if I don't, and I would be like doing a huge bend, that this is simulating a bend, and then check the tuning. Oh no, it's low, it's flat. So this is what I've been doing for a long time, always stretching them a couple of times with my fingers like this, and then retuning. But I found out they actually sell a tool for this. It's called String Strecha, I think, and I just bought one. And again, do you need a tool like this? No, I've been doing string changes for ages without one, but it does feel on my fingers, and if I have to string multiple instruments one week, I feel like this could help me a lot. So let's check out how this works. Alright, there you go. The String Strecha. Small plastic device. Let's see. I'll first check my tuning. Alright. It's in tune. Then let's stretch. Okay. Okay, it's kind of hard to use it as fastly as a finger. Okay, I'm getting the hang of it, but still it's a little hard to feel the string like I feel it with my fingers. But it hurts. Okay, I probably got a fire. Yeah, look at that. This is exactly why I wanted to buy a String Strecha. It almost went through my skin, the string. But yeah. All right, there you go. Now it should hold the tuning a lot better, and that's something I've been doing as long as I remember, stretching the strings. But using this or any kind of tool for it, this is the first time. And I think it does the job well. Took a few tries to make it work. Yeah. Do you need it? Not necessarily. You can do it by your hand, but I feel like I'm sometimes injuring my hands, so a tool is handy. All right. Okay, one thing. Check this out. I don't know if lots of people think about this, but let's check the tuning on the low string. Now it's in tune, or at least very close. The less those things move around, the closer it is to my tuning. All right, and then, as you can see, it's now lying on the table. But when I take it to my lap and pluck the string again, it's in the same tuning. It is not. It is not in the same tuning. I put it back on the table. Check. It's sharp. But when I take it to my lap, it's almost, or maybe even a little flat. On the table. Sharp. So, gravity. It's called gravity. And yeah, depends on how you hold the guitar. You should always tune it in that same position. So always when playing live, I tune my guitars in the exact same position, so standing position. And also when standing, when tuning, I have always tried to keep the same tuning position so that there won't be any surprises like, oh, what the fuck, this is sharp, even though it's actually spot on. But if I would be standing weirdly, I could read that it's sharp and then falsely retune it. That has happened to me. But again, minor things. Probably most of the people don't even think about that stuff, but yeah. All right, now it's in tune, and with Floyd Rose Tremolo systems, or whatever floating tremolo systems you have the string tension and you have the spring tension, and you need them to be, you need to level the tension so that your bridge is parallel to your body. This is something that you don't have to do every time you restring, as long as you use the same kind of string set. If you go to a different gauge or stuff like that, then you will find out that your bridge is like, looks like this or looks like this. But I can see, I don't know if you can see it here on the camera, but it is a like half of a millimeter dipping inside and I want to adjust it. I'd rather have it go a millimeter to the other direction. So, in order to do this is like a fast fix. There is lots of better ways to actually level the bridge from scratch, but as it's almost leveled already, I will just adjust these screws a little bit. I will turn them just a tad. Just a tad. So a little loosening. And now that I have adjusted the screws on the back, I will yank on the trem bar a couple of times, and then I have to retune again, because like with everything you do on a tremolo system, it basically always affects your tuning on every string. So in order to see if that helped, we have to go back to the correct tuning. There you go. So I don't know if you can see it here. Now it's really nice. I like it. That's the way I'm gonna keep it. Alright, then a couple of more things you can do is to check the straightness of the neck. I do it by pressing the last fret and the first fret, and then checking the distance here around the 9th fret. Around the there should be a gap around the thickness of a business card. At least that's how I'm setting these up, and this has been done recently, so it's looking good. Then one more thing is the intonation, which means that the guitar should be in tune here on the low open string, as well as here on the octave. If this octave is like sharp to your open note, then you have to adjust your string length by opening the intonation screw and finding a right length for the string for the intonation to work. But I've checked all the strings and the intonation is good, so I don't have to do that. Now I can lock my nut here and then do the fine tuning with my fine tuners. Alright. We secure our strings with these string locks, so that when I'm yanking on the tremolo bar, the tuning won't be that much. Well, it won't get affected at all if this is set up properly. If I wouldn't have this, then it would be easier to lose the tuning. Alright. And when I had my first guitar with this kind of locking system, I remember when first time I was restringing it, I over tightened one of these screws and it broke down inside this, and I couldn't get it out. And it was a licensed Floyd Rose, so they didn't have any usable spare parts for it, so I had to like order one and had to wait for like a month. And yeah, after that case I remember that never over tighten these. The last touch is to check the tuning one more time, and this time we will use these fine tuners to tune it, because we just locked the nut, which means we cannot use the tuners in the headstock the headstock. But we use these fine tuners, just like in a violin. Alright, there you go. In tune, and then I can do like a some heavy bending and still perfectly in tune. Alright, so thanks for joining me today and seeing how I maintain my guitars, and that was from in between. Like, it was not the most thorough maintenance session, but it was still more of a deep dive than just restringing it. And it had that rust and gunk here, mainly because I had played this live, and in live sessions there's usually a lot of sweat, and that's why my palm generates sweat here, and it gets easily rusty. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but it looks quite nice. Alright, until next time. You really thought I wouldn't play a solo for you? Of course I will.